Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're breaking down the absolute high energy men's volleyball Nations League clash between Japan and Argentina. This wasn't just your standard match, it was a literal masterclass in transition offense, wild defensive scrambling, and really just seizing the momentum when it mattered the most. Just listen to this quote from the broadcast. He's unstoppable, absolutely unstoppable, goodness me. That wildly enthusiastic call perfectly captures the momentum and honestly, the sheer kinetic energy of this match. So we're going to explore exactly how Japan earned that kind of praise on the court, breaking down the highlight moments that completely defined this showdown. Here's the match card for how we're going to break this down. First, a quick Week 3 preliminaries wrap-up, and then we're going chronologically through Set 1, Set 2, and finally, Set 3. All right, starting off with the Week 3 preliminaries wrap-up. So, setting the stage here in Osaka, this match was the final bout of the Week 3 preliminaries for both of these squads. We've got Japan taking the court in red, bringing their standard but always spectacular style of volleyball. On the flip side, Argentina is set up in white and blue, and they were really aiming to finish their week strong with some crucial momentum heading into the next stage. Moving right into Set 1, which was a surprisingly tight battle. Now, the crucial dynamic early on in this first set was Japan's completely unbelievable improvisation on defense. They were digging balls that looked totally impossible. In one really standout sequence, a chaotic touch gets dug out, and then Ishikawa is just right there. He's literally miles off the court, but perfectly positioned to instantly turn a wild defensive scramble into a scoring transition. It's this exact ability to flip the script from defense to offense in a split second that totally set the tone for the match. But hey, Argentina absolutely wasn't backing down. They absorbed Japan's early blows and just fought their way right back into it. Late in the set, Argentina delivers this massive, momentum-shifting monster block on Nishida, which, by the way, is no easy feat, and that knots everything up at 20 apiece. You could literally feel the tension in the arena. And then came the swagger. Ishikawa broke the tie with a spike at an angle so ridiculous, the commentary team could only describe his energy as, get this, a mix of Elvis and James Brown. When you're playing with that kind of rhythm and sheer confidence, you become incredibly difficult to stop. That flash of brilliance from Ishikawa, hitting angles that honestly shouldn't even exist on a volleyball court, was the ultimate difference maker. It wrapped up the first set for Japan with a really hard-fought score of 25-22. On to Set 2, relentless Japanese pressure. So Argentina actually takes an early 1-point lead to start the set, but Japan, they quickly turned up the heat. Argentina's defense suddenly found themselves completely off balance in this desperate scramble just to keep the ball in the air. They were barely surviving against Japan's relentless multiplayer attack options. It was like Japan always had 3 or 4 guys perfectly positioned, just ready to strike at any given second. The sheer panic on the court for Argentina during this stretch was so palpable. The broadcast was just screaming, "Oh, you're kidding, what a block, what a set from Shir." Japan completely sucked the air right out of Argentina's lungs. Every single time Argentina tried to mount an offense, Japan's defense was right there to stuff it right back. Midway through the set, a really glaring dynamic emerged. Japan was miraculously finding ways to score from medium or totally neutral setups, situations where they really had no business generating a high percentage attack. On the flip side, Argentina was giving away far too many free balls when they actually had the advantage. And in high-level volleyball, you simply cannot concede free balls in positive situations and expect to walk away with a win. Because of those stark transition differences, combined with the relentless serving pressure from Japan, Argentina just couldn't get themselves off the ropes. Despite a really valiant set point save by Masahiro, Japan took Set 2 with the exact same scoreline as the first, 25-22. Which brings us to Set 3, the final sweep. Up 2-0, Japan was looking to close out the sweep efficiently. Looking at how this final set played out, Argentina was searching desperately for a lifeline right from the jump. They bring in Polanski for Gomez, clearly hoping a fresh look would somehow spark their offense. But as the set progressed into the middle stages, Japan's Nishida absolutely took over the game, and that led to a surprisingly sudden end to the match. We really need to talk about Nishida's performance here because he completely took the reins. The Japanese defense would pop up a tough dig, and instantly, Nishida would turn that defensive touch into absolute offensive gold. Just like the broadcast noted, he was absolutely unstoppable, crushing transition spikes with a speed and power that Argentina's blockers simply could not read or react to in time. Ultimately, the match wrapped up in a slightly anticlimactic way. A desperate swing from Argentina resulted in the ball striking the antenna. Argentina actually threw the challenge flag, hoping maybe it had clipped the Japanese block on the way out, but, well, the replay showed the blockers' hands were totally clean. The challenge was unsuccessful, sealing their fate and definitively giving Japan the straight sets victory. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you all with a bit of a provocative question. Based on this absolute clinic in transition offense and their uncanny ability to turn chaotic defensive scrambles into automatic points, is any team really equipped to stop Japan right now? Does this dominant play make them the undisputed favorites heading into the VNL finals? Well, it's certainly something every other team in the tournament is going to be agonizing over. Thanks so much for joining me for this breakdown.